The lights dim, casting a soft theatrical glow on the stage. A perfectly synchronized band begins to play, and the first chords of a powerful song echo through the super-modern sound system. On the giant screens, carefully designed graphics scroll by, showing lyrics over inspiring backgrounds of sunsets and mountain peaks. The lead singer, charismatic and dressed in the latest trends, closes their eyes, one hand raised in a gesture of deep emotion. The crowd sways, caught up in the moment. It's a powerful experience, truly, a feast for the senses designed to uplift and inspire. We feel a connection, a shared energy that seems to fill the vast auditorium. It's a show, a performance polished to perfection. But as the last song fades and the house lights come back on, a question gently hangs in the air. Is this really worship? This scene, familiar to so many of us, represents a modern form of worship often more focused on production than on the heart. We've become experts at creating an atmosphere. We've mastered the art of the emotional build-up, of the perfectly timed pause, of the visually stunning presentation. We leave feeling energized, perhaps even moved, as if we've participated in something meaningful. The experience is smooth, professional, and emotionally engaging. It feels good. It feels like we've done our duty. We've given our Sunday morning, our voices, and our attention to a well-orchestrated event. But is the feeling of a good performance the same as a true encounter with the divine? The danger lies in mistaking feeling for substance. It's easy to get lost in the look and feel of worship, to believe that the quality of our praise is measured by the quality of our sound system or the talent of our musicians. We can become consumers of a religious experience, judging a service by how it made us feel, rather than by how it challenged or changed us. We might walk away talking about the incredible guitar solo or the amazing voice of the singer, but did we truly connect with the deeper purpose of that gathering? Were our hearts stirred not just to emotion, but to action? When the music stops and we return to the reality of our Monday to Friday lives, does anything fundamentally change within us, or more importantly, through us? This focus on performance can create a significant disconnect. It can make worship a separate activity, a one-hour event we attend each week. And it was against this kind of empty ritual that a prophet named Amos spoke so fiercely thousands of years ago. Long before stage lights and projection screens, a simple shepherd and fig farmer named Amos was called to deliver a surprising message. He wasn't a priest or a prophet from a long line of religious leaders. He was an outsider, sent by God to the thriving northern kingdom of Israel. At that time, their religious life was booming, at least on the surface. The temples were full, the festivals were big celebrations, and the air was thick with the smoke of countless sacrifices. People believed they were doing everything right. They carefully followed the rituals, offered the required gifts, and sang the holy songs with great excitement. They were sure their devotion pleased God. Yet, Amos arrived with a message that must have felt like a bucket of cold water. He looked past the busy temple courtyards and the sounds of joyful music and saw a society eaten away by corruption and unfairness. He saw the rich getting richer by taking advantage of the poor. He saw judges taking bribes and denying justice to those who couldn't defend themselves. He saw merchants cheating their customers. He saw a widespread calm among those who benefited from this broken system. People were experts at religious ceremonies, but their daily lives were a direct opposite of the character of the God they claimed to worship. Their hands were lifted in praise on the Sabbath, but those same hands were used to hurt their neighbors all week long. Through Amos, God delivered a shocking accusation. In chapter 5, the message is surprisingly direct. I despise your religious festivals. Your gatherings are disgusting to me. Even if you bring me burnt offerings and gifts, I will not accept them. Imagine the shock of the people hearing these words. Their most sacred acts, the very core of their religious identity, were being rejected, even scorned, by the God they sought to honor. So, if God rejected their fancy festivals and serious gatherings, what did he really want from them? Amos gives us the answer with amazing clarity and power. This is one of the deepest verses in all of the prophet's writings. After saying no to their empty rituals, God tells us his true wish, but let justice roll on like a river and righteousness like a never-failing stream. This is the main point. God doesn't mostly care about how perfectly our worship services are done. He cares deeply very much about what's in our hearts and how our society behaves. He doesn't want just a tiny bit of goodness. He wants a flood of justice. Let's break down this amazing picture. A river isn't a still pond. It's a strong, moving, life-giving force. It moves, it cleans, it makes new paths in the land. Justice, in God's eyes, should be like that. It shouldn't be a rare or once-in-a-while act of kindness. It should be a constant, strong, unstoppable force that flows through every part of our community, actively working to fix wrongs, stand up for those who are weak, speak for those left out, and make sure every person is treated with respect and fairness. It's not just about not doing bad things, it's about actively doing good and taking apart unfair systems. Also, goodness is compared to a never-ending stream. That means it's steady and lasts a long time. Goodness is a steady, reliable flow of personal honesty and right behavior. It's about living our lives in a way that matches God's character of love, truth, and faithfulness. So, how do we make this big idea real in our daily lives? Well, it starts by thinking of our whole life as an act of worship, not just the time we spend in a church building. Real worship could look like this: a business owner who decides to pay their workers a fair wage, even if it means less profit for them, because they believe every worker deserves respect. That's a fair act, a clear sign of their belief. True worship is also found in quiet, steady actions. The person who regularly helps out at a local food bank, the lawyer who gives their time for free to help others, the teacher who goes the extra mile for a student who's having a hard time. These aren't big, showy acts, but steady, never-ending streams of goodness that God wants. Also, real worship means using our voices to speak up against unfairness. Staying quiet means we're part of the problem. Worshipping a God of fairness means we become helpers for those who can't speak for themselves. This means joining peaceful marches, writing to our elected leaders, and supporting groups that fight for human rights. In the end, real worship is about what's in our hearts. It's about having a sincere and kind inner life that spills over into everything we do. When we come together for worship, to sing, to pray, to hear a sermon, we don't come as people just watching, but as people taking part. We get filled up and sent out for a week of helping, being fair, and doing what's right. The songs we sing on Sunday become the background music for our lives from Monday to Saturday.